We've got lots of shiz to talk about today. So, your engagement is down. You feel like no one's watching your stuff. Your sales are down. Things are feeling stagnant. Nothing seems to be working. Then you're being fed with all the economy noise and the chaos of the world. And things are increasing in price. And then the interest rates. And then it gets in your head. And you're like, well, no one's buying. But they're buying from other people and they're not buying from me. And maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. Maybe I need to launch this thing. Maybe I need to do this thing. And then you get so frustrated, and then typically you end up in a fight, flight, or freeze stress response because your nervous system is so dysregulated, and everyone goes into a different thing. Some people go into a freeze, procrastination, overwhelm, convince yourself that you're confused, and then you take your foot off the gas. Other people go into like hyperactive mode and start throwing spaghetti at like 25 different walls to see what sticks, and they're just in this chaotic action-based energy. And some people just get like angry and like come online and start venting and just become totally unhinged. Well, just so you know, I have done all three in the course of my 17 years of being an entrepreneur and having two businesses. So I get what this feels like. And the first thing I'm going to say to you is, and welcome to entrepreneurship. It's important for you to know that this is normal. Businesses go through cycles, multi-billion-dollar businesses, startup businesses, and everything in between. This is part of it. If it was always on the up and up, if it was always happening that way, and there were never dips, and there were never stagnant periods, and there were never down periods, our stock market would look a lot different. And any business that is portraying of any size that it is only on the up, on the up, on the up, and everything they touch turns to gold and there is no issues, run for the hills. This person, this coach, this expert, this brand is lying. They are using fantasy marketing to get you to buy, to make you feel like they've got some secret sauce and some secret system that is without fail, always working and always flooding them with cash and clients. And there is no business in the world that has no downturns and periods where they need to pull back the bow and arrow in order to spring ahead. And I'm going to share with you in this episode exactly what I do here behind the scenes when there are those low periods. And I've developed this 3R protocol from working behind the scenes with major companies and seeing what they do and then massaging it down so that it's something that we can apply to any level of business with any level of budget. Like, there's no one listening right now that can't apply this immediately. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It's your host, Tiffany Carter, and this is the show that is going to help you grow your business, your bank account, that big, beautiful brain of yours, your abundance, your relationships, and everything in between. Damn, I missed saying that. I missed you. I missed you guys. Did you guys miss me while I was luxuriating through Europe? That was wild that I took a 17-day. I went like dark, not just on social media, on the interwebs. Obviously, I had the series going here for you, which is free only through July. And then it's being pulled off here on the podcast for Walk Into Your Wealthiest Season of Life, and the brand new guided wealth journal that you can get at projectmewithtiffany.com/wealthy. I'll make sure you can swipe up and access that in the show notes. You need to make sure you get it. I mean, unless you want to pay me for it, which is fine, because that is meant to be a paid offer. I wanted, out of the energy of abundance and walking into your wealthiest season, to give you an opportunity to do that for free for the month of July. So, warning, and don't say I didn't warn you. Okay. I made up a story that none of you guys missed me. You didn't miss the show. You moved on to some other show and some other person, and you're like, oh, whatever about Tiffany, and that all of the traction and years and audience that I've built in countries that I've never even honestly heard of where the show is trending. Shout out to those countries. Like, I always joke and say, like, you guys have to understand, like, I even coach people, and like the show does well in Zimbabwe, and it like actually is trending in Zimbabwe. I think it's so funny that I've like used that as an example, like the random countries that you guys are listening in. And I love you so much. And I'm glad that you didn't forget about me. And I wanted to do that as an example of how we design our businesses and how we design these additional streams of income. You have to design it in a way where it's still bringing in coin and it's still doing things even when you're on holiday. It can't be set up where it's only dependent on you posting incessantly, emailing incessantly, launching incessantly, selling incessantly, doing, because we have to have times of reprieve. And as I go into these three R's, it's going to seem counterintuitive, okay, as it does to me, even when I'm going through times where there's lulls or stagnancy. Is that a word? I don't know. It is now in my business, or even quite frankly, like in my body or my brain. Sometimes it's not even that your business could be performing well, but you've just been hit by a lot of personal stuff, a lot of mental health stuff, even physical stuff, that you've just been beaten up by life. And I got to tell you, I do not know one person in 2025 that does not feel that they've been just beat up by life, like energetically, mentally, physically, even spiritually, quite frankly. This shit's been wild, and I want to validate you on that. It's been insane. And during those periods where we're feeling that way and you're irritable, restless, discontent, you're frustrated with your business, you're resentful, you're starting to scroll and get into comparison of other people and why did they have that and not me and what am I doing wrong? You might have even done it with me. Okay, you might have even been following along, which I'm continuing to share the rest of my travel adventure vlogging over inside my Instagram stories. I share some of it on TikTok stories. Those of you, those 378,000 of you that follow me on TikTok at Project Me with Tiffany. I'm the same on Instagram at Project Me with Tiffany. And you can see some of it there, but I truly share all the behind the scenes inside my Instagram stories. So make sure you're following me in both places because the content is different on both. So, if you aren't sick of me at this point, which I find so funny that what our brains do and the behaviors we get into when things aren't working out the way we want them to. And I just said to a private client of mine, and if she's listening, she knows that I'm not like calling her out in a mean way. It's with love, but we sound insane sometimes. Like I just helped her go through a full launch, doing a live training, being able to leverage an audience she has that's kind of in a different category and it's a highly sensitive category, and being able to monetize it without offending people, so on and so forth. And she had insane amounts of signups for her live training. People reacted very well to it. These emails were getting great responses. And then she goes and does her live training and she's very discouraged because all of a sudden she didn't end up with, all of these like applications and results from doing the live training. And I go, well, hold on a second. And I said, you're acting like this was the end of your launch period. I go, that was just the kickoff. I go, think of any major brand that has, a new line of whatever. Maybe it's like this latest, like permanent lip stain phenomenon. And has anyone found, by the way, any of this permanent lip stain to be a vibe? Because this was a thing in the early 2000s, but that shit was chalky and it was very dry. So I don't know if it's a resurrection of the same thing. I mean, obviously the paid influencers make it look like it's a thing, but they're being paid to. So I'm curious about that. But let's even use that as an example, that a beauty line, let's say like Benefit Cosmetics, is putting out a lip stain. Okay, they have the whole thing planned on launching it. They have money allocated to influencers. They've sent all the boxes and all the, press kits and all of that. to all of these influencers. They're being paid to do it. So they have to post at certain times and they have to post at certain things. And then they have ads going out at the same time. Then they have organic content going out on the same time on socials. Then they have emails going out. And then they have stuff going in all the places because they have a big budget to do so, right? We can apply what the big brands do, which is one of the things I specialize in teaching you. We apply what works at big budgets and we massage it down to make it work for the small business owner of any budget. You know, I coach people whether you are starting from scratch or whether you are already raking in the cash, but you want to grow your business, or maybe your business isn't feeling right now. It's feeling stalled. Something's missing. It's feeling heavy. The sales are stagnant. That's the gamut of people who I coach. I've worked with people in over 71 different industries and I've coached thousands of people at this point. I was not going to open up my summer applications for my exclusive 2-month private business coaching program this year because I have designed a business where I don't have to launch anything. And what I've decided to do instead is I'm not doing an in-person mastermind this year. I know some of you are freaking out. I warned you of this last year and I warned you the year before that don't think, oh, I'll just come next year when she does it. There is no guarantee I'm going to offer that the next year because I've designed my business where I can or I don't have to because I don't like, for me, being trapped or feel obligated that I have to launch any particular thing if that is not feeling aligned with me, genuine to me, right for my ideal client at the moment. So there's no in-person mastermind for 2025. Okay. I know some of you are like, oh my God. I know I'm going to get a bunch of messages about it, but I'm just saying. And instead, I'm opening up my applications. It's official right now for my 2-month exclusive private business coaching program. And it's the same application, whether you're starting from scratch or you are in the 7 figures, you're in the multiple 6 figures, and you're wanting to scale, you're wanting to have a revision of your profitable content plan. Know that your messaging is off, how your offers are packaged are off, and you want to get the sales and the clients and the things coming in again, and you can't see what you can't see. You've got holes in your business. If you feel energetically depleted by your business, if it feels heavy, if the shit isn't flowing, it doesn't have to be like flooding with cash at all times. Okay. No company is like that for all times. You can have a run. Okay. Like ProjectME with Tiffany here has come off of a solid 3-year run of printing money. Okay. But I'm not naive to think that a run lasts forever. Would you think that an actor, every single movie they put out would be a blockbuster hit? No, you're not surprised when something doesn't hit. What about your favorite music artist? That every album's a chart topper all the time. Even a Taylor Swift, she knows there's no guarantee. You don't know how the people are going to receive it or what's going on in the world or what's going on in the vibe of the trend of the music, of the stuff that the people are after. You have no idea. So yeah, you have a run and then you have a period where it kind of falls off and then you got to kind of regroup and then your mind fucks with you because who doesn't want to stay on a run? Think of an athlete. Okay. And I'll go back to the client story. If you're watching on YouTube, ProjectME TV, I am back on my iced lavender oat milk matchas, no sugar. Shout out Starbucks, who I used to work for. That was my job in high school and college. Thank you so much. And what was my point in saying this? Because I didn't have any matcha in Europe because it's just not a vibe there. I am matcha buzzed right now. So that's what you're getting right now is matcha buzz, Tiffany. And I don't know what to tell you. Where was I going with all of this? Oh, let me do the athlete thing, then I'll go back to this client story. So with an athlete, there is no athlete, even the Hall of Famers, where every single game is their best game. Every single season is a top season. They have seasons where they're off. And guess what? Their fans know it. Commentators talk about it in the press constantly, and then they have to manage their mind about being in an off season and get their head back in the game while everyone's berating them and pressuring them for having an off season. But that's very normal. Then they have their best season yet. And then they have seasons where it's kind of like nothing spectacular has happened. It's middle ground. And then they have shit seasons. And then they have injuries that wipe them out for a season. This is no different in business. This is no different for any type of business that you see. So I just want to really normalize that for you, right? Like whatever season you're in right now, I want you to see it as a season so you can detach from it. And I would have wanted someone to have validated me with this and this honesty and transparency. So if you're appreciating this episode talking about this shit right now, please take a screenshot, share it in your social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all the things, and tag me at Project Me with Tiffany. Comment, subscribe on YouTube. That really helps YouTube. Share it with someone else who really prefers like watching episodes. And, listen, it's not like I have a high video production value of this show. So what you're seeing on YouTube is like the raw and real behind the scenes. Okay. Like take what you like and leave the rest. Like you're not seeing a fancy studio, perfect lighting, Tiffany and glam. Sometimes you're going to see that. Most of the time, it's going to be me wearing something that I've probably worn 3 days in a row. And it's probably about time for me to change. Just saying. I mean, I'm starting to smell myself. It's how I roll when I'm down at the beach. Okay. I call it beach dirty and I find it very acceptable. I would like to know, random unnecessary question. I love when we do this inside of the Posse membership. I always ask the members their random unnecessary question of the week. Here it is. Do you feel that, and I don't mean a public pool. Okay. I'm talking about a private pool. Whether you have like a private pool like I did in Greece, which is you want this life, you want to manifest this life, like overlooking a cliff. I mean, it's a vibe. Or a private pool in your backyard like I have at the Quiet House. Do you feel that that substitutes for a shower? I do. When it's a private pool, and obviously it's like properly chlorinated. It was a saltwater pool that I had in Greece. But I digress. I see it as this is a shower. That's how I feel about it. I'm clean. I've been soaking in water all day. Now, I still wash my face and do my skincare, okay, because we're not going to play with that. But the rest of it's a shower. Is it a shower or is it not? I would love to know. DM me on Instagram at Project Me with Tiffany. This is a serious question. Or do you think I'm disgusting? And it's okay. I'm not going to be offended. It takes a lot to offend me these days. I'm more offended by the outrageousness of shit that's going on in our world, in government, and I'm more like outraged that the reservoirs were empty, and so therefore the Pacific Palisades burned down and other cities in Los Angeles. Those are the things that outrage me. Okay, let's go flip back to this client I was talking about who had all this success, had her live. She wasn't thrilled how she was live. And, going live, whether you're going live on TikTok, live on Instagram, you're doing a live training, you're live. When I was a TV newscaster, you can go live and something unexpected can happen. You can get tongue-tied. You can lose your train of thought. Like, we get so hard on ourselves. But she was upset that it wasn't like, I don't know what expectation she had. Like the floodgates were going to open and people were going to buy. Well, of course we want that. We want instant gratification, instant validation, especially when we're investing time, energy, money, and heart into our businesses, and not for a hot minute, but for years. And it can be really frustrating when you feel like you're growing so slowly, or you take 3 steps forward and 3 steps back, and you're doing the business cha-cha. And it's like, then you watch other people and start comparing yourself and feeling like, well, look at how well they're doing. I must be doing something wrong. And when is it going to be? And when is it going to be my turn? That is a terrible energy to be in. And if you're in it, it's okay. I've gotten in it too. I call it poly pissy pants. I've named this personality. Okay. It's your poly pissy pantsing. And you just need to say to yourself, I am willing to show up until it works. This is the long game. You know how many people I know in Los Angeles that are actors that have been going at it? And I have a good friend, shout out Lawrence, who's a comedian. He's like a lead bartender. Okay. This man is north of 50 years old. He has been at the game a long time. He's not stopping the game because he's like, it's going to hit someday. And I believe it, and I believe it will for him. And he gets gigs. Right. But like he's in it for the long play. And I'm not saying you're going to have to wait like years and years and years. But when you take your foot off the gas because you're so pissed and frustrated that you didn't get the results you feel you deserve to get at the exact time that you get it, and what the fuck? And this is bullshit. And I've invested thousands of dollars and feel like I'm doing all the things. And when is it going to happen for me? Ooh, God, the universe, your spiritual committee, it is going to make you wait because that is not surrendering and trusting in divine timing. That is not saying I'm willing to show up until it works and continue to show up. You know that like I'm sure you've seen so many images of like it's like a cartoon of a guy like in a, digging for like gold or a diamond and dug this whole tunnel, worked so hard in doing it and gave up because it was like, God, there must not be any gold here. The diamond must not be here. And was like 2 centimeters from getting to like the biggest diamond in the world or a giant chunk of gold. This is true. I promise you something. Like, and I don't sit here, I don't make like false promises, and I don't make fucking guarantees. But I'm going to promise you this. You keep showing up regardless, even when your entire body and your nervous system tell you to stop. And I don't mean taking a stop and reprieving when we get into these like 3 R's, okay? I'm talking about like it's screaming at you, it's wanting you to stop because you don't feel safe. It's not safe. This is too much. I don't like this. I'm not okay. I'm not secure. I'm not supported. That kind of bullshit. And you don't make sure you apply these. This is why I came up with these 3 R's. You don't make sure you apply this and have a protocol in place to keep going when the shit ain't flowing. You're fucked. On the flip side, you follow this. That's why I can guarantee you this works. I've been doing it for many, many years, and it always works, and it works for anyone I've taught it to who actually implements it. When you do apply it and it allows you to keep showing up no matter what, there's no way you can't win. You are going to win because you didn't take your foot off the gas. And that doesn't mean you can't like let off the pedal a little bit and regroup. I'm not talking about that, but you keep fucking going. But what I was saying to this client is, you're acting like this is like the last, that was the last hour of your launch. This was the beginning of your launch. This has just begun. And if you guys are wanting to really develop a true, simple, straightforward, exciting launch plan that sets you up for it to work, that is something we do inside of my 2-month private business coaching program. Like I said, the summer applications are officially open now. You can swipe up. The app is inside the show notes. This is not a link that is available in my link in bio. Otherwise, we get like hundreds of applications. I only take 4 private clients at a time. So only apply if you're like straight up like dead ass serious about doing it. Okay. Don't like do a look-see-loo or I want to make myself feel like I've done something for a moment. Like do it where you're like, I need the help. I'm surrendered. It's fucking time. I get what you're saying, Tiffany. It's time to pull back to spring ahead and enough's enough already. And let's make sure that the second half of 2025 is I'm doing everything in my power to set it up to get the results that you want. Otherwise, don't expect that you're going to get the results you want if you're not actively doing the things that are aligned with those goals. And if you don't know what those things are, then one of the things you need to do is work with someone who does know what those things are and can help pull them out of you and direct you. Your head's up your ass. When your head is up your ass, you can't see where you're going. Part of my job is to pull it out of your ass with love and regroup you and redirect you. This is why I have two coaches, a therapist and a psychiatrist, and a support group. And I'm not joking, okay? And my spiritual committee. I can't see what I can't see. Even though I'm very aware, even though I'm an expert in this area, it'd be very naive and egotistical of me to think that I could see all the holes in my business, that I could come up, I'm the only one who can come up with the creative $1 million ideas. Hills no. And why we don't want to do business alone. Anyway, all the links of all the things that I'm mentioning in this episode are in the description on YouTube, are in the show notes, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, whatever you're listening on. Just swipe up and it's there. And if you do have a question about like whether it's my posse membership, whether it's applying for my 2-month private business coaching program, whatever it is, and then hit me up, DM me on Instagram. It's not going to be a chat bot. Okay. It really is me. Period. Okay. Let's go to the 3 R's. This is what you're going to implement, and you're going to implement it now, today, period, end of story. And this episode's designed for you to come back to and go, okay, I'm going through a rough patch. Like I need to be walked through this thing again. So 3 R's. Regroup. This is an order of priority. Reset your nervous system. No vision comes through panic. No solutions come through when you're in a spiral. It's impossible, whether you're an employee or an entrepreneur, okay? Because you're not thinking clearly. And I literally said this to my client today. I said, I don't want you to ask me questions of what to do and that you're going to send this, that, and the other and all of that. Your first order of business is resetting your nervous system. And this doesn't mean for you to disappear for days. This means for you to do this evening and sleep on this, okay? So step away from content consumption and comparison. Remember, most of these people you're seeing, and I really mean it when I say this, I've met enough of them, I've coached a lot of them, are full of shit. They might have high revenue numbers, but they're in the negative in profits. They might have shit ton of views, shit ton of followers, and they're not making much money. You're assuming they are because they have offers out there and they have all this engagement on their stuff, but they come to me because it's not converting. That's why I don't give a shit about those vanity metrics. And we talk about it in the posse, and I have a excellent training coming up in the membership where we're discussing the whole thing with profitable content. Okay. Like there is a magic matrix around, and we customize this in the private business coaching, but if you want a group experience, that's the posse. So we customize it for you, your personality, your lifestyle, your goals, your brand, your industry. But there is a finessing to it of, well, yes. Oh, the Popo's here. Why is the Popo here? Popo was here last night too. For my internationals, the Popo is the police. Is this my neighbor again? I'm telling you, there's always some shit going down in rich neighborhoods. These people are wild. Anyway, I digress. Wow, am I matcha buzzed? I'm sweating. Like you have to go see it on YouTube. First of all, the lighting is, I don't even know what's happening with it. Secondly, I am perspiring. Like I'm dripping. I hope that you like this kind of version of being all over the place. Like this was like the Tiffany, I think, when I first started the show was a little more like this. And then I felt like I had to button it up more when the show blew up. And now I feel I'm back to being more unhinged. So if you like this version, that's like, the show's pretty much unedited anyway. But if you like this version, you need to let me know. And if you don't, you need to let me know. Okay? I do this show for you. Anyway, with that being said, don't sit there and take in all this content and start looking at competitors and getting in comparison. Now you're just looking for a shame hit and compounding yourself into poly pissy pants land. All right? Listen, my engagement sucks right now on Instagram, but my conversions are solid. I mean, yes, would I like higher engagement? Sure, but I only want higher engagement of the right people that are buyers. I'd rather have lower engagement of buyers and have vanity metrics of hundreds of thousands and shares and all this stuff and followers. And most of these people are content vampires. I mean, while yes, it kind of looks sexy to other people, right? And it's like you might get a dopamine hit and it might feel good to your ego. I mean, I'm interested in the cash receipts, honey, and helping the people who want help. And the only people who really, really want help, okay, like truly want help, they find a way to pay for it. And you might not like me saying that. You might be like, well, that's not true, Tiffany. I don't have money and blah, blah, blah. Honey, you can find a way to make more money. You can walk dogs, you can dog sit. There's lots of things you can do. And I have so many top tier free things. My posse is $3.33 a day. There is absolutely no excuse. That's coming from Polly Pissy Pounds land. All right. So in the regrouping, go immerse yourself in something creative or fun. You've lost the fun. You have been focused on the grind, on the pushing, on the stress, on the struggle. We need to regroup your mind into fun, creativity, like a home project, a craft, a play date with your bestie, and or try something new. Okay? Like start weaving baskets. I don't give a shit. I build Legos, okay? Like I have every Christmas set that was ever made. Maybe I'm lying. Maybe I have like 95% of them. I really do. So do something. I have a friend who took up oil painting. Okay. Like go try something and immerse yourself in it because it gets your brain off of this loop it's been on. Do somatic release stretching. You don't even have to get out of bed to do this. This is not a workout. And who I recommend, I'm going to have her on the show. She's at the Workout Witch on TikTok and Instagram. I vouch for her. She also has CPTSD like me, and she has great videos. I'm sure she's on YouTube as well. And her shit really works. Okay. We need to release the tension. We need to release the trauma. We need to release ourselves out of a fight, flight, or freeze response from our bodies. And you do not even have to get off the couch to do this. In fact, as she says, you don't even need to actually do the exercises. You can just watch them and get results, and explains the science even behind that, which I think is really cool. Reconnect with your higher power, God, your angels, your spiritual committee. You have lost contact with your spiritual committee because you've gotten into like the fucking matrix, right? Which is designed this world of consumership and social media and propaganda and shit is designed to get us out of spirituality and like getting caught up in all the shit and ego. You need to consciously reestablish your contact with your higher power, whomever that is for you. I have a whole committee. I want all the people working with me, and I want to work with all of them. Whatever that looks like. Maybe it's you doing a daily devotional. Maybe it is you praying. Maybe it's you meditating. Maybe it's you talking to God. Whatever. Maybe it's you going back to church. Whatever the hell it is for you, it needs to be done. So, my guided abundance walks, use those because that's both somatic and doing the neurological reprogramming of shifting you out of scarcity and survival mode into the abundance zone. And they're designed to work in 3 minutes or less. And the latest podcast series, okay, Walk into Wealth. If you have not completed that series, you need to do that. And you can access it right here on the podcast through July, and then it's being pulled down. And you want the guided wealth journal that goes with that. And I've put the link in the show notes for the yo notes. The yo notes. Put the link in the show notes for you, and that is free through July. And you can just do the digital version. I've, paid a lot of money to have it designed. This isn't some AI bullshit template. This was completely customized, and I spent weeks and weeks working on it. And you will see once your ass prints it out. Okay. Second thing, Okay. You did the regrouping. Now we're reassessing. I am pouring sweat. I feel like I need to take a breath. This must be why I got hooked on these iced matchas. I'm, I'm telling you, like, I feel like I did a bump of cocaine and like, sorry if that triggered anybody, but like, I mean, I am familiar. I have done this drug before. I do not, I do not recommend doing street drugs, but I do recommend, an iced matcha. Reassess. Once your nervous system chills, your clarity and creativity and your problem solving skills all open up because your blood vessels, this is proven science, your blood vessels in your brain and your body aren't constricted and starved. So it can open up, it can flow. You're not in this like brain fog state of confusion. And I want you to ask yourself, what's really, when I look at the course of my business, has been driving revenue in my business? What has that been? And if you're like, well, Tiff, nothing. I've not made any money. I started my business and there's been nothing. Well, you really got to get honest with yourself, right? Like, well, have you been trying to just kind of slap it together and you're toe dipping? Or have you really treated your business like a true business? Or have you been treating it like a jobby? And not to shame yourself, but you got to get honest because if your business isn't making any money, I'm telling you're toe dipping, period. And what I mean by that is you're even toe dipping on investing. Because if you're inside my posse membership or you apply to work with me like privately, like you are truly making a tax deductible business investment so that your business makes money. It would be like, would you open a restaurant without a great cook and feel like you can? And I'm going to try to get away with not having like an actual cook and we're just going to pull it off. Well, it's not going to work and you're not going to pull it off. You're shortchanging yourself by taking cheap shortcuts. And we've got to get honest with yourself. I've done it. Okay. I did it when I started my first business because I was terrified of spending more money than I was bringing in. But that's not how business works. Okay. When we need to bring in more money, that's the time to strategically invest money. So really take a look at that. How can you better serve your current people instead of chasing new ones? Get deeper, go deeper, develop deeper relationships with the current people, your current clients, your current audience. How can you better serve those people? Those are your people. What offers feel the most aligned right now? Because those will be the most profitable. What offers do you have that feel the most aligned? And if you're like, well, nothing feels aligned. Okay, well, what would feel aligned? And then I would also say if you're having kind of responses like that, even right now with these questions, it's obvious it's because you've not taken the time yet because you're just learning about it to regroup. That's like a nervous system response. You're angry, right? You're fighting. You're fighting. You're in resistance. You're pissed. Fuck you, Tiffany. You just fucking went on a $50,000 trip to Europe. Must be fucking nice. It was fucking nice. It was nice. And I fucking deserve it. And it's proof that you can have it, but not if you're toe dipping. Okay. Not if you're not listening to Coach Tiff. All right. Is it time to bring in outside eyes to find out what you're too close to see? This can be for your own personal development too. It doesn't just have to be like business strategy, all right? Like, because when you work with me, we combined the money mindset, the money wounding stuff. That is all intertwined with the strategy because you can't out strategize a broken money mindset. Hence why I have the Make More, Work Less program is on an insane sale right now, 55% off for my summer sale because you got money noise and you're not addressing it and you think you can out strategize it, outthink it, outrun it. You think you can somehow bypass it, it'll come back and slap you hard. And I know because I lost everything I had from that, literally. And I have episodes on that if you go search for them. I think the title's like how I literally lost $1 million in 3 months, or I lost everything I had. And it's a very clear example of how this can happen. Okay. So I want you to hear me on you can't see what you can't see. So I've given you plenty of options for help and support. Highest level is working with me privately, obviously, in my 2 month private business coaching program. I use the same application regardless of where you're at in your business. Just starting, you make several $100,000 a year. You want to get to the millions. You're in the low millions, want to get to the high millions. It's one application. We keep things simple over here. All right. And you can access that in the description on YouTube at ProjectME TV or swipe up on any of your listening platforms. And it's in the show notes. And if you have a burning question that you must know before you apply, then yes, you can DM me on Instagram. Any of you who've DM'd me on Instagram know I always reply. Just sometimes my DMs get crazy, so you might not get a response like right away. And if you've been hesitant to DM me and you felt compelled, maybe after listening to an episode or getting an email from me or whatever it is, because you're like, God, she gets so many. I don't want to be annoying. It's probably some fucking bot anyway. Well, it's not, and it's me, and you would be pleasantly surprised. Okay. The third R, reignite. Your energy sets the tone for your entire business. Okay. You got to bring the fun and excitement back into your business. Create an offer you're obsessed with, or redesign an existing offer. Breathe fresh life into it. Just like you see for products that have been around. It could even be laundry detergent. I do so many rebrands with these major companies. Sales are kind of stagnant. It's not very eye-catching on the shelf anymore. People have become kind of desensitized to it because the exterior box and the packaging has looked the same for so long. So then you see new and improved, new and improved. Well, nothing about the, sometimes they do a new and improved formula, but typically the only thing new and improved is the packaging. And there's a reason these multi-billion-dollar companies do it, because it fucking works. Wow. I am probably going to regret having matcha this late in the day. I'm unwell, but like I like it. Like I feel like I'm in a controlled manic state. Okay, deep breaths. All right. So then I want you to look at like designing a fun challenge, a flash sale, a giveaway, a brand new experience for your existing audience, for your people that feels fun for you, that breathes fresh life into your business, that you can really let them see your energy and it helps recalibrate you as well. And it reignites your passion for your people and your business. Because if you're not excited about your business, if you're not excited about your offers, if you're not in a sense of conviction about your brand and anything, I don't give a shit how good your stuff is and how much integrity you have and how great you are and how many testimonials you have. Ain't no one's going to buy it, honey, because they're not excited. Okay. Record that video series that you've never done before. You know, like if you knew no one was going to judge you and you knew you couldn't get canceled and you knew that like it was going to absolutely help so many people and be worth it, what the hell would you do a video series about? You know, it's kind of like what I'm doing on here right now. I am next level unhinged. That's what's happening. That's what feels fun to me and exciting to me. Now, you guys can tell me, this matcha buzz tiff, I'm not about it. It's too chaotic. My guess is because most of your asses are my fellow crazies. You have ADHD. You're fucking all over the place. You're probably Spectrum-y. Okay. I love my Spectrum-y peeps, especially when you don't realize you're Spectrum-y. I love you. And you're unwell in the mind. And my guess is that this is stimulating the all of your brain cells right now. But if I'm wrong, you can let me know. Okay. But you have to be willing to do it because otherwise you're going to be bored with your business. And we're bored with our business. Why would you expect anyone to buy? Bored people don't buy. Okay. Go get new props, ordered branded items for your brand, reignite like the own spark for your brand. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money. You can craft this shit. Okay. I have a sticker maker. All right. That's one of the other weird things that I do when I like want to like get out of my head. I love making stickers. You can get them at craft stores. They're very gratifying. Right? Like go do something for your brand that you can use in your videos, you can use in your content. Go to the freaking dollar store. Like, come up with something that's like feels fun for you. Because when you're lit up, your clients feel it too. Okay. And I want you to come back to this episode again and again when you have moments in your business when it feels heavy, because it will. If everything was always easy and the cash was always flowing and the clients were coming in and your audience was always growing and you're in, if that was always the case, you really wouldn't appreciate it. That's why we have to have like the yin and the yang, right? We have to have the light and the shadow sides. You start like taking shit for granted when things works all the time, you forget like you you do, okay? Like you forget like how great it is when you're in it, because it can be a lot of work when you're popping off and you have things going on, and you'll appreciate it so much more. But yeah, when things are going great in a relationship, it yes, of course it's easy. But that's not a test of a great relationship. It's not a test of a great business owner, that you are doing great and have a wonderful, abundant mindset, and you're an excellent strategist and a creator and whatever when your business is doing well. No. The people who I fucking hire, both personally and professionally, like life coaches, fitness coaches, business coaches, the people I hire, I look for people who've gone through shit and share about it. And because that's a reality of life, and they know how to navigate it and use that to your advantage. So this is not that you're being punished. It's not that you're fucked. It's not that you should quit. It's not like you should never sell this thing again. It's not that, oh my God, it's not working. It's never going to work. It's that you are being invited to pull back, regroup, recalibrate, and reignite your business so you can spring ahead. That's why there are these seasons. There has to be seasons, just like there's seasons in our environment. You have to have growth and death and rebirth. This is all part of it. So to think that it's not going to happen is delusional and not in a good way. And it's a setup. And I really hope this was validating for you. Okay. And I'm here to help you. You know exactly how you can work with me. We do have spots available for new members in the posse right now. ProjectMeWithTiffany.com/posse. Swipe up, it's in the show notes. All right, live weekly trainings, live Q&A, me, other special guest experts, a library of over 400 very specific workshops, trainings from everything you can fucking imagine, and a community of your fellow crazies where you're all like-minded. Most of you are fucking trauma survivors, have gone through shit, and they're the most genuine, honest, loving, supportive, funny as hell people. It's the best. And we keep it limited at a intimate size, so I can in integrity call it a business group coaching program. Okay. You're not going to get lost in a sea of thousands of people. And those of you who really want to treat your business like a business and truly stop fucking around, and you need a full regrouping, recalibrating so that you can soar and you can bring in true lifestyle changing cash while changing the lives of others, the move is applying for my 2-month private business coaching program. Okay. And all of that is inside the show notes. If you love this episode, take a screenshot, share it on social media at Project Me with Tiffany, tag me. And that way, and you, I mean, leaving a review would really mean a lot to me, especially on Apple Podcasts. Okay. If you've been lazy about doing it, that would really mean a lot to me. Okay. Like tap the 5 stars on Spotify. But that will help me know if I can continue my matcha buzzed, slightly ranty, and somewhat chaotic episodes if you like them. And if you don't, I don't know. I'll drink a chamomile tea. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you.